welcome to today's video. I am super excited for today. Um, as you've seen by the title, we're going to go book shopping. Um, I have a few clips from when I was shopping, but that was my first time recording in public, and so I was very anxious and didn't want to record much, so there's probably not a lot of footage. Also, my phone was getting ready to die, but I did buy a few of these books today. Some of them I have bought a few either days ago or weeks ago at this point, but as you can see, we have quite a few books to go through. So let me take you back to shopping earlier today or when we got the books, and then we'll meet back here. Guys, if my hair looks crazy, just disregard that. It I went to sleep with it wet last night, and so now it looks funny. This probably also is not the best lighting, but it is what it is. So, let's get into this. So, the first books that I actually bought these ones yesterday and did like a mobile order to pick up at Barnes& and Noble, and that is the Dragon Republic and the Birding God by R.F. Kuang. I'm currently about 50% of the way through the Poppy War, and I am sucked in. I don't want to put the book down. I don't want to read anything else. These are the only things that I want to read right now and pick these up and read them right now. Um, Obviously, I can't say too much since these are the second and third book in the trilogy, but in the Poppy War, we're following Rin, who was a war orphan, and her acceptance into Senegard. I don't have the book in front of me, so I can't actually look at it and double check. But Senegard, which is the most elite military school, and the reason that she wanted to go there was because the tuition was free if she got in. However, she was kind of mistreated by her adopted parents. They didn't really care or support her goals in wanting to go to Senegard. But now she is at Senegard. She has been there for a little bit at this point, and they are on the brink of the third Poppy War. And so we are watching her kind of get ready, becoming a warrior for that war, experiencing parts of that war, and learning the politics and the history as to why those parts of China are the way they are. Probably not the best description, but like I said, I am sucked in. The first day that I picked it up, I read like 150 pages in one go because I couldn't put it down. So, very much looking forward to picking these up. You'll probably see a reading vlog with the Poppy War in it. The next book that I got, this one I did get today. I've seen it around, but I haven't really have thought it was something I'd be interested in, but now reading the synopsis on the back, I'm like, "Oh, actually, yeah, that does sound pretty good." And that is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I don't know if you can see it because the light. But in this one, we are following Katrina and Heath and how they became these Olympic elite figure skaters and the relationship that they had that led them to that scenario, and then they eventually have this really, really big falling out, and a few years down the line, I think it's, yeah, 10 years down the line, there is a documentary that says they're uncovering the truth of what actually happened, and so Katrina is like, "Hey, no, you'll hear from me, and I'll tell you my truth." So, but it sounded really interesting. The thing that got me was the very beginning of the synopsis, which is she might not have a famous name, funding, or her family's support, but Katrina Shaw has always known that she was destined to become an Olympic skater. When she meets Heath Rocha? Rocha? I'm not sure how to say that. So sorry. A lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. Clinging to skating and each other to escape their turbulent lives, Kat and Heath go from childhood sweethearts to champion ice dancers, captivating the world with their scorching chemistry, rebellious style, and roller coaster relationship, until a shocking incident at the Olympic Games brings their partnership to a sudden end. As the 10-year anniversary of their final skate approaches, an unauthorized documentary reignites the public obsession with Shaw and Rocha, sorry, claiming to uncover the real story through interviews with their closest friends and fiercest rivals. Kat wants nothing to do with the documentary, but she can't stand the thought of someone else defining her legacy either. So after a decade of silence, she's telling her story. From the childhood tragedies that created her all-consuming bond with Heath to the clash of desires that tore them apart. Sensational rumors have haunted their every step for years, but the truth may be even more shocking than the headlines. So, very, very excited to read this. I know a lot of booktubers have already read this and liked it. I never really picked it up just because it has like real people on the cover, and that never really interested me. But once I actually read the beginning part, I was like, how does this girl who's, doesn't have the funding or a famous name, how does she become a figure skater? Because figure skating is a very expensive, lucrative hobby to have than to become an Olympic skater. And then also, how does she meet this kid that's in a foster care system? How does she meet him at school? Do they meet at the rink? Like, how exactly does that work? And I'm very intrigued. This book also has a bit of, I think it's like mixed media. I think they're like texts. I think it's kind of what it looks like, or maybe emails. I would assume it's text, but that is very exciting. I don't have a lot of books that have mixed media, and that made me really wanna pick this up just because I think the last time I read anything that had mixed media, like text, was, Tell Me What You Did. That was a thriller, but even before that, I think it might have honestly been on, like, Wattpad. So, very curious. It does say it's part Wuthering Heights and part Daisy Jones and the Six, which I've never read Daisy Jones and the Six. I do want to read it. Same thing with Wuthering Heights. But I kind of understand the premise of both of those books. So I want to see how they blend together into this novel. Had to take a small intermission to go deal with the cats. So might be able to hear that in the background. But as I was saying, so the next book is Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah McGraw Reyna. Think is how you say her last name. And I just want to say this is such a beautiful cover, and the artwork is so, so pretty. When I found this book, I grabbed the spine because I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Dawn of the Firebird. I want to see what that's about. But also, look at the sprayed edges. Isn't that so, so pretty? I love it. But in this, we are following Camilla, who is the daughter of the emperor, who was primarily raised in her mother's nomadic tribe, and tragedy strikes, and the tribe is gone. It's gone. To say the least, it's gone. But during the chaos of what's happening with the tribe, Camilla, is given a power that awakens within her, and because of that, she's now seen more as a weapon than she is as a person, and then she is accepted into her father's court. Then tragedy strikes again and takes a lot of the clansmen out, and so now Camilla is on a fight for vengeance, basically. She goes undercover and infiltrates the enemy's army, and during that time, she starts to question what her father is teaching her and his ideas in politics, and starts wondering if she actually wants vengeance or if she would rather have freedom. So I'm very, very intrigued by this book. I think the artwork is absolutely stunning. The premise of the book sounds very, very intriguing. I'm very much into war and politic kind of fantasy sci-fi books right now. So, very much looking forward to this. The next few items are not books, but I did get them today. So, the next thing I got was a coloring book. It just has a lot of very like simple coloring pages. The other coloring book I have right now is very detailed, which is great, but sometimes I need something that's not so much and stresses me out, and I figured this would be kind of fun to maybe color some of these while I'm listening to an audiobook. I might be starting a new job soon too, so I thought maybe this would be a good way for me to wind down without having to exert myself trying to read a book and having to fully understand everything and not put myself in a reading slump. Next, I got this little light that clips, and I did go ahead and take it out, and I kind of love this. Um, I like how long it is because in bigger books, sometimes I've noticed with lights that I've had in the past, it wouldn't reach far enough. So, very excited for this. It also has, I don't know what to call it. I want to say felt, but that doesn't feel right. But it has a soft padding here, so I don't think it's going to leave clip marks on the book. If it does, it's very, very minimal. And you can just kind of turn it on and then hold it to make it lighter. I don't think you can tell it's getting lighter on camera, but very easy. And this one is rechargeable, so I don't have to worry about buying a battery. And it says that it has, if you leave it on high, it has a 10-hour lifespan. If it's on a lower setting, it can go up to 60 hours. So, very excited about that. I have been reading a lot more at night in my bed, and I don't have my bed is too big for my room, and so I don't have a side table to have a lamp on, so it's always like down by my feet, but it doesn't cast enough light on the top of the bed, so I'm straining my eyes a lot trying to read. I got this pen. I know that sounds really, really silly. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to focus. It's a point .5, which is a super, super skinny nib, and also it doesn't make a clicking noise, which is great. I like to click my pens, but I don't like the sound of clicking them, and I also really, really like skinny pens. I usually get a point .5 to a point .35, so I was very excited. I've never tried this brand before, but I've seen it a few times, so very excited to give this a go in my reading journal. Today is actually the last day of May, so I do need to set up my June reading journal here in a little bit. Next, we got my new Barnes& and Noble tote. This is, I think, my third one now. I don't remember what color my first one is. I have no clue where it is. Next one I got was blue, and then I got this green. This green is my favorite shade of green, so I'm very excited about this. And this is also like Barnes& and Noble green. You can't tell me otherwise. So, got that. Last thing that I got today was this little hipper, um, kind of little figurine. I kind of love them all, but I was thinking I could put this on the back of my Kindle, kind of up at the top of the case. and you have a sloth, Shiba, penguin, bunny, panda, duck, and then there's also a secret with oh, it says it comes with a display stand. So, oh, I wanted to try doing like how everyone else does, like they pop it open, you know? That's fine. Let us see if there I don't know if there's a card in there. I don't want to get the card. Ooh, I don't know what that is. Cute. Okay, let's open it and see. It's the panda! Oh my god, this is actually way bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But the panda! Isn't that so cute? Oh, hi Luna. Hi baby. I thought it was gonna be a little bit smaller, I'm not gonna lie. But I do still think it's really cute. I think it would look super, super adorable, maybe like right there. Cute. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that. So, this is so exciting. I love the panda. Like I said, I would have been happy with any of them, but the panda and the penguin were definitely like my top ones that I wanted. So, get this all in there. And it does come with a stand. I just don't think I'll be using that, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Hi, Bean. This is the cat that's been meowing the whole time. Hi, Sugars. Hi, Buddy. I kind of bought these books on a whim and impulse because I bought every Carly Fortune book that's out to my knowledge except for her newest one, just because I've heard that some of these books you have to read in a specific order. I think it's this one, and then you have to read this one, I think. But then the rest are kind of like standalones. But I bought these because they all have the sprayed edges, and I couldn't find ones that didn't have the sprayed edges. And I really wanted to pick these up because I really want to read this book because I want to read her newest release. It sounds really, really good. But when I was in the store trying to see if I needed to read these ones first, my phone wasn't loading. I had basically no service. And so I was like, well, I had a bad day. Let's treat ourselves. So every summer after this summer will be different. Meet me at the lake. And then one golden summer. I do remember this being around last year and wanting to pick it up really bad. But again, I saw that it might be connected to another book, so I didn't pick it up. But I like these. They're really short romances too. I don't have like a standard romance, but to me these are all pretty short. They're like 350 to 370 pages, I think. But they're quick and easy romances. I really, really like the covers. They sound intriguing to me. Did read the first chapter of Every Summer After so far. I did also just put this on my TBR. A few of these books you probably have already seen me holding a few times. But so far, I really like her writing style. I haven't gotten far enough in to really have a full opinion about it, but so far I like it. We're gonna see. I kind of like the main character. Like I said, though, I've only read the one chapter, so I don't know how much I'm really gonna like it, but we shall see. Next, we got Holly Jackson's Not Quite Dead Yet. I Yeah, I've never read anything by Holly Jackson now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I haven't read anything. I did want to read her Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I never got around to it. So, when this first came out, I was in love with the cover. The premise of the book sounds really, really interesting, but I really like to read thriller, mystery, horror books in paperback. I don't know why, it's just one of those things, and so I was waiting forever for the paperback to come out. I don't love the cover. I really don't like when books do this, rather than just pulling this all the way across, you know? I don't need to know it was a number 1 New York bestseller, but I guess some people do. I like that they have the skulls. You probably can't tell that much on this copy, but you can kinda see it there. But I'll probably include a picture of the hardcover because that one looks really pretty, and I was really drawn to that, but like I said, I wanted it paperback. I don't know really why, but my brain said this had to be paperback for me to read it, so I'm listening to my brain, you know? Gotta let her be. And then the last 2 books I bought, one because it was really, really popular, and now I'm kinda mad that I got the version I did, because when I went back to the store and I bought those Carly Fortune books, they had a different edition with different sprayed edges, and the sprayed edges on that one looked so much cooler than the sprayed edges I got. Oh, did I even say that on the Holly Jackson one? It does have sprayed edges. They kinda, like, looks like a murder blood splatter. So, there's that. Um, anyways, so the book that I got is Starside by Alex Astor. I have been so intrigued by this. I haven't I don't know much about it, and I kinda wanna leave it that way. I've never read anything by Alex Astor. I don't know if I will pick up her other books, but I've heard that this one is very interesting. A lot of people like this one way more than her other books. I believe it's following the premise that power in this world is not given, it's earned, and it's earned through different types of metal and metal welding or wielding, I should say. And so, like, you could have copper power, you could have iron or sterling silver, gold, things like that. And different metals have different strength levels with them. That's really all I kinda know. But I do like the front cover. I like this version that I got that has the kinda like maroon reddish color here. The sprayed edges are still very pretty, don't get me wrong. They are very, very gorgeous, but the one that I saw had the dragon on here, and that looked so much cooler. I hate to say it, but it really did. And then on the bright side, the naked hardback of this book is stunning. She's so beautiful. Love all the foiling details. I love this maroon color. I think it looks really well with this kind of navy black color. I don't think you can tell. I think it looks more blue in person than it does on camera. And then we also have these beautiful um, maps on the covers, the inner covers. I don't know what these would be called, but they are absolutely beautiful. I love how they're darker. I feel like a lot of ones that we get are usually in black and white or they're really light, but I like how this one's darker. I feel like it's gonna set a good tone to the novel, really. I don't remember. Oh, that's cute. The fan club art, that's really cute. Anyways, so here, maybe I should tell you a little bit about this one. Hundred of years ago, a brutal war split the land in two. Starside is the realm of magic and immortals, the descendants of God, living in a power-rich paradise. Stormside is where mortals fight for scraps of that magic. Every 50 years, the gates between them open, and 50 challengers are allowed to journey across Starside on a deadly quest for magic that can heal, grant wealth, or extend life. Everyone has their reason for entering, but Eris has only one: vengeance against the gods who killed her family. Winning one of the 50 spots on the quest won't be easy. An orphan blacksmith apprentice, Eris doesn't have the superior weapons of the heirs from the great houses, but the greatest swords, ones that contain power, are not inherited or bought, they are claimed by both sides. And when Eris claims a great sword, it makes her not just a real competitor, but a target. Countless dangers await on Starside. With a blade most would kill to take, Eris can't trust anyone, especially not Harlan Raker, the merciless and mysterious knight who betrayed her years ago and who may now be the key to her survival. But Eris is hiding a secret tied to her family's death, and when it's revealed, not even the gods will be able to stop what's coming. I don't even think I told you about the other book. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. In this, not quite dead yet, we're following Jet, who suffered from a head injury by somebody she wasn't able to see, and the doctors believe that the head injury that she sustained would kill her within a week. And so she's trying to find out who caused the injury and who basically has killed her. So she's trying to find her murderer while she's in a hospital bed, basically. So, sorry, I don't just skipped right over the details of the book. And the last and final book is The House with the Golden Door by Elodie Harper. So The House with the Golden Door by Elodie Harper is the second book. I believe it's a trilogy. It's called the Wolfden Trilogy. The first book is The Wolfden, and you are following Amara as she is experiencing life as a prostitute in a new land that's not super familiar to her. She was raised in freedom because her father was a Greek doctor. He died, and whenever he died, Amara and her mother were alone. They didn't really have a lot of money left, and so Amara's mother ended up selling Amara to the Wolfden so that Amara could at least have a roof over her head and would still be getting food. But Amara kind of struggles with this identity of now being a prostitute and having to be submissive to people, whereas before she was basically considered a free, wealthy woman, and that's something that she wants to have again. And so we kind of follow her through that. At the end of the Wolfden, they kind of give us a plot twist that leads to the House with the Golden Door. And then now we're in this novel. I don't really know exactly what this one is. I have this habit where I will read the first book in a series and then pick up the rest of the series without ever actually reading the back of the books or the synopsis to see what it's about. So I have no clue what this book is about. If I'm being completely honest, we are following Amara as she's living in Pompeii with someone else, which you find out about that in the Wolfden. I loved The Wolfden. I read that before I had started this channel. I picked it up years ago, didn't know if I was actually gonna ever read it, and then one day I was like, "You know what? I want to read this. It's sitting here, it's calling to me, let's pick it up and read it." One of the best books I've ever read, especially within this year. It's definitely within my one of my monthly favorite ones. I don't have like a top 10. I kind of do like one favorite book for each month. So that is the end of today's video. Thank you for coming book shopping with me and going through the haul. I'm kind of doing my thing right now. It's not fully adhesive just because, Kindles have that curve right there. So, but I love it. I am so happy with this, and I like that it's up here out of the way so I can still see the sticker. The sticker kind of stays all the time. But anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you for coming book shopping with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!